Welcome to another episode of Wine and Design. We are back in the VintageView headquarters in Denver, Colorado. I'm Jacob Harkins, and I have brought in our VP of your ever-changing title. I believe Design and Innovation is your current best title?
Currently, yes.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I have brought Dave on for one primary reason. This dude has 15 years experience in the wine cellar industry. He knows how to put together a wine cellar forward and backward and sideways. And so we are going to discuss some really cool wine cellar building topics as part of a 3-part series. We're going to tell you basically how or what type of wine cellar you need and why and how to do it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
But more importantly, are you thirsty?
I'm always thirsty.
So in the next 2 parts, we're going to get to some really more wine geeky type things. So we just brought a can of wine for this one. I don't know how often you drink canned wine, but this is Canterris. It's a clever play on the word of Colterris, which is a Colorado winery. So right around the corner in Grand Valley, Colorado.
Colorado wines are good.
You got to open it right. You think I know how to open a can of wine. It's always fun drinking wine out of a can. This is a white wine blend, easy drinking, and we're going to just cheers to it and get on.
All right.
Tastes like summer. Tastes like summer. All right, so the question of the day is, do we need a passive wine cellar or do we need a climate-controlled active wine cellar? And we're going to go through the questions that we train our architects and designers to ask their clients, and these work great for the home wine connoisseur as well. So let's just break right into it. What kind of wine do you drink normally?
I'm kind of usually a red $10 or less, take it home, eat some pizza, and finish the bottle.
So you go to the liquor store, and how long does that bottle of wine last you?
Maybe 2 days.
2 days?
I have 2 roommates, to be clear.
So you're going quickly with it. You know, me, yeah. I collect Barolos and other things, and I like to age them a little bit longer. So I'm a little fancier than you.
Yeah, probably more than a little, but yeah.
In terms of, are you looking to do long-term storage with your wine? Like, what are your goals?
I've thought about putting a cellar in my house right now, but with 2 roommates and 3 dogs, it's not a priority. Eventually, I would like to start collecting, but right now, I think I'll stick with the $10 every night drinks.
That makes sense.
Okay.
You know, and I get that, and I'm in the same boat as you. I don't have a long-term storage potential right now, but I want to start collecting bigger, better, more expensive wines if my wife will let me. I guess, but beyond that, so when you're talking about where you're going to store your wine, do you have a basement to do this? What types of space would you dedicate to your wine storage right now?
So I do actually have a space in my basement that currently has the dog cages, but there's a window that creates a concern because it is the outdoors and it's a finished basement, so that does help because it'll create a nice ambiance down there.
Gotcha. So you've got a pretty good space that doesn't get too hot already.
You know, it stays pretty cool down there, so that does help.
Yeah.
But again, with Colorado, the heat, the cold, you never
really
know what you're going to get.
See, I'm not that lucky. My only space is on the main floor, and it faces the outside, so it gets pretty warm on its own. So, you know, putting a very valuable bottle of wine is a little bit tricky.
The outside wall does kind of make it tricky.
Yeah.
So.
You know, what other questions do you typically ask a designer or a client when you're trying to figure out what they need for?
Typically, I'll ask them about their collection. Yeah. So, what do they have? Like you were asking, what are their goals? Mm-hmm. A lot of people will buy wine and they're only going to keep it for a year or 2. And I mean, really, do you need cooling at that point? It's, you know, are you just spending money to spend money? Yeah. So that's important to find out. People that are storing it for collecting or for the value, absolutely, we're going to look at cooling there. People in really high temperature or low temperature, even with 1 or 2 years, are probably going to consider something. So.
You know, one of the other questions I think is really important, regardless of their collection and all this stuff, what type of budget are they working with?
Absolutely.
You know, throwing in cooling can be a couple $1,000s and then some when you start factoring all those things. So really what it comes down to is you shouldn't, you know, whether you're a designer or a homeowner or whatever, don't assume you need cooling or not. Figure out what you're drinking, what you want to drink.
What your ultimate plan is.
How much money you have.
How much money you have and what to spend.
So exactly. So a little bit, I kind of bait out, he's more of a spirits guy.
I am definitely a spirits guy.
And so I picked out bottles of wine that I think really show what type of, we'll say collector, not person, each of us are. So as we get into the next couple of episodes, Dave, you are our honorary $2 Chuck champion. And I got the Justin Vineyards
Of course you did.
cab from Paso. So anyway, we are going to have some cool links that talk a little bit more about these topics. And parts 2 and 3, we're going to discuss exactly what you need to know if you end up being a $2 Chuck kind of guy like him, or more of a higher end Napa, or actually this is Paso Cabernet kind of guy like myself. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Wine Design, and we will be back soon, and we'll be wearing the same shirt, and it'll be the same everything, and we'll just keep drinking away the afternoon. Cheers.
Cheers.